Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're back in another Bedrock beta, and today it's 1/20/2022. It's a very small one this week, but it does bring some changes that are worth noting. So let's quickly just cover them. The first one is if you actually have top snow inside of your world, inside of snow biomes, there was a bug where polar bears, rabbits, also items and block items, they would hover above the powdered snow. As you can see, that is no longer the case, and they now actually sink into the block like the player does. This, I think, was just a visual thing, and it wouldn't affect the player in any way. But yeah, as you can see, the bug has now been fixed, and they no longer float or hover above the snow. They'll now sit on it like the player. If it's more than one layer, then they'll be moved up with it as well. Now, there is also a structure void block in the game. This is used within structure blocks to specify, I think, air blocks. I'm not exactly 100% sure. But there was a bug where if you actually stop holding this block, it goes invisible, like barrier blocks. But there is no hitbox unless you are holding it. Or there was a bug where once you placed it down, even if you was holding it, it would be invisible and you couldn't actually destroy it. So that is now fixed, and if you are holding the block within your hand, you can place new ones, and you can also destroy the ones you had already placed. Now, this is obviously not a big deal to most players because only very little players actually mess with these. But if you have messed with them before and you have placed them in your world for whatever reason, you can now go and destroy ones that you misplaced that you couldn't before. There is also a change to breathing underwater, or breathing when you're above water, should I say. So when you're actually swimming, if your head was underwater, your bubbles wouldn't fill up. But now, if you are swimming above water, as you can see, your bubbles fill up, but your head has to be above water when swimming. And I think the bug here was if you were swimming like this, like I am, your bubbles would still deplete because the game would put your hitbox under the water, although you was technically on the surface. Then polar bears are moving very quickly towards me. I didn't actually realize they swim so quick, but it does seem like it's a little bit weird because sometimes they do deplete and sometimes they replenish. So I'm not exactly sure where the hitbox of the player is when you're swimming. The next thing that is worth noting is the crawling experimental toggle has now been removed. And to get crawling under one block tool gaps, you no longer need to enable anything. It should be enabled by default, I think, as long as you are within the beta though. So it looks like this feature is basically finished. They probably just need to polish it up a little bit more, but it should release in the near future now that it's out of experimental. So if you want to mess around with it, now is probably the best time to do so before it is fully implemented. There's been two changes to the recipe. The first one is the command now says player target. I think before it would say victim target. That is just a minor tweak, but it has been changed. So now it doesn't actually mean anything, no, I don't think, because it is literally just like the autofill to tell you what you could put in here. But it's literally just a word change, I think, just to make it easier for people to understand that you have to put a player's name. But as you can see, it does autofill here anyway. So I guess that is something that doesn't really matter. The next change inside of this beta is if you are creating a new world, there was a bug where you couldn't enable the recipe granting. Well, that has now been changed, and under the advanced category, if you scroll down, you will now find the recipe unlocking, and that can be turned on and off. This button can also be found within the world settings once you actually made a world. But there was a bug before where it wouldn't be when creating a new world, and you could only enable it when you have created the world. But that's now been fixed, which is pretty good. So let's now jump back into that world. Two minor tweaks. A bug has been fixed where missing low disk space warning on Xbox, so that is now fixed. And also the text-to-speech narrator will now read the disconnected message in the game menu when opened without an internet connection. So if you open up Minecraft Bedrock without an internet connection, the narrator will now read the disconnect menu for you if that is something you use. There is also a change to, or a bug fix with iOS. iOS, they have fixed a bug in multi-line text edits where some text was sometimes deleted when typing after repositioning the caret with spacebar. So that is now fixed, and I think that means like signs and stuff like that when you edit signs. So some text would sometimes be deleted, but that is now fixed. Here is the bug number if you want to go and look more into the bug. Another user interface change, they've changed the button text from manage to cancel in the options and in subscriptions. So if you have a subscription, it will now say cancel instead of manage. And this has also been fixed inside of this beta as well, which you can see right here. And once again, the bug number if you want to go and look more into the bug. Now quickly jump in to the actual patch notes. There is it. We have actually covered everything. It is a very small one this time around. There are some technical changes which I haven't covered, but once again, there's not actually that many of them. You can see there's quite a few general right here, but it seems like a lot of them are to do with one category, as you can see right there. There is then also 2 related to items, and then there is some experimental technical features as well. You can see there are some for the API, and that is it for the actual technical changes as well. Once again, if you want to read these in more detail, the patch notes will be linked in the description, or I'll just let you pause the video so you can read them off the screen if that is something you'd like to do. Then got item ones right there if you want to pause, and then experimental ones, that is the top half. And then if we quickly just scroll down, that is the bottom half. Quickly, just to end off the video, a few bugs that I forgot to mention in the last beta is if you actually find yourself a trail ruins, there is a chance you can actually find campfires within the trail ruin structure. I don't think we have found one within this one, but okay, yes, there is one right here. Well, the bug here was before the 1.20.2021, these would be lit by default. Now, when you find a trail ruin structure, they will be unlit, and you can obviously light them if you want to, but when they are generated, they won't have the smoke coming from them. The other bug that I wanted to mention was if you was actually swimming, before you would start swimming, if you was hitting your sneak button, the game would automatically hold your sneak down until you actually stop swimming. So you could have errors like this where you would be stuck on the edge of a block. This should now be fixed. So if you are swimming and you are hitting your crouch button as you start swimming, the game will no longer keep your crouch held down until you stop swimming. But anyway, that is it for this actual beta or preview. Once again, it is a very small one, and the changes in are not really anything too major. I'd probably say the biggest one is the crawling being removed from experimental, because that obviously means that it must be somewhere near complete, and it's probably just like the final polishing touches before it's ready to release. But anyway, don't forget, if you find any bugs within the beta, definitely do report them. The report page will also be linked in the description. But anyway, that is the end of this video. We have showcased everything within the 1.20.2022 beta. If you did enjoy the video, do leave a like and subscribe, as it does really help out. And also let me know any ways I could improve future beta videos. Maybe the way I showcase them, if there's any way I can improve the way I showcase them, or even any minor details that could make these videos a little bit better in any way, do let me know in the comments. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.